All right, how many people are vibe coding right now? Cool. I will admit I was a skeptic. I used to be a big AI hater, but it's been really fun to play around with it right now. My name is Erin Mikail Staples. I'm the Senior Developer Experience Engineer at Galileo, working in the AI observability space. How many people have any idea what that means? Cool, a handful. That's great. Love it. That's why we're here to learn. That's why we're all getting together and learn out and geek out about this kind of stuff. Outside of my day job, I am a stand-up comedian, and I do build robots to roast people with AI. So I've been in the AI space for about 4 years now, got my start in the data space, and did a lot of fine-tuning of models. So alternatively, we could title this little demo, Why Your AI Agent Needs More Than Just a Good Feeling and Function Call. So how many people have built agents here? Or used an agent? How many people are like, I have no idea what a hell an agent is? Okay, if you're a data scientist in the room, close your ears, you're probably gonna get really mad at me. And if you're a machine learning engineer, I'm sorry, because they've given me weird looks when I say this as well. An agent is kind of just like a really, really fancy function. It's just a function that is given some autonomy. They can do their own things. Take advantage of it. Fun? Right. But 9 times out of 10, how many people know how good what the things they build with AI are? It's okay, I have built some hot garbo. Has anybody built something that they're like, I'm super proud of? You want to share? What have you built?
On the spot.
On the spot, yeah, no, I'm a forced participation speaker. You should, fair warnings, man.
I'll build a CRM for prompts.
CRM for prompts, okay, I'm gonna steal that. So if someone get me his GitHub and I'll steal that later.
It's open source.
Perfect, oh, great. This is when I file a bunch of issues on someone else's repo and I'm like, it's open source, maybe they'll build it. Don't worry, my website's open source too, it's not working right now. If anybody wants to open source, anyone wants to fix it, who else has built something they're proud of?
Yeah, my company is simply above average. You can type in, I'm the size like 12 for jeans, inseam 36 inches, and it spits back product recommendations.
Oh my goodness, amazed, love, need to just check the you later, which my shopping does not need to know that. Has any people has built anything that's absolutely god-awful? Oh yeah, you want to share something that you built that's awful?
Oh, well, where do I even begin?
Where do I begin? So our GitHub repos look the same, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, I wake up in the middle of the night with crazy ideas, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to prompt this into existence. And then 5 hours later, it's like nothing works, and then I go back to sleep because I'm like, it's just not even working.
Prompt, yeah, honestly, the prompt into existence is real. What we're saying is the vibes, they could either be really great or they could be off. And there's really not a good way of understanding at this point, like how do we measure the success of an app? You're probably measuring how many API calls. That usually is an expensive one, and that comes in the form of your boss saying, Erin, we're not gonna let you have access to the OpenAI API anymore if you just run it on stupid apps. And I'm like, fair, but where's my play money for fun? That's one way of measuring it. You can measure it on stars on GitHub. You can measure it by how many users, but a lot of the times we actually don't know how these apps perform. It's a little bit of a problem. And most importantly, our vibes aren't catching those failure modes. Like I came from the world of DevOps previously, so I was at LaunchDarkly in my last role. And so my entire role was how do you keep people safe when you're moving to production? How do you make things that your apps don't crash? Don't get caught with your apps down is the big thing we worked on. However, which is great when we're working in standard dev terms, but when we're working with AI, it's a little different because, as Emma said, these models are undeterministic. It's a $500 word for saying, I have no idea what it could spit out, which is great and cool and also terrifying. And so when we need to evaluate these AI applications and determine if they're working, we need AI designed tools. So that's kind of what we work on at Galileo is AI evaluation. So how do we determine that something is successful? Don't worry, I've got some fun live coding here. We're going to do some fun coding here in a second. But when we think about what we should measure, we can always talk about like what are the different stacks that we should measure in, like key metrics. What are some metrics that we'd want to know about in our apps, our AI apps? Time to first token, good one. What's another one?
400 errors.
400 errors, great. How about toxicity? Can we measure toxicity? What if it's sexist? Did you guys hear about that car that was sold for $1? Don't worry. Or are you like me and kind of a jerk online and using Amazon when Amazon first had that chatbot app, and I was over there being like, let's leak code this thing. And some poor guy at Amazon's like, can you stop? Because I'm making their app do things. That is what an AI evaluation does. They happen in real time in order to stop those bad behaviors. So you can move on beyond the 400 error, or is my app down, to, was this toxic? Is this bad response? You told me about Galileo the astronomer, not Galileo the company. Rude. You can also track trends over time. Have your apps gotten smarter? Every time a model updates, and if you say you're building a RAG chatbot app, your evaluations need to be able to keep up with that. And we can track it in real time. So it's super cool. I'll show you what that looks like. But out of the box, we have 30-something, some odd metrics, but then you can also create your own metrics. So anything from sexism, toxicity, prompt injection, context adherence, blue and rouge. And if you're like, I have no idea what any of those mean, come find me after this. But this wasn't very funny. Let's get to the funny part, right? Or do you guys want to keep talking about this? He's like, I'm down. We're gonna geek out on metrics right here. But I made a lot of stupid apps, so I'm actually currently building my own custom metric right now. And so one of the things, we use LLM as a judge. Does anybody know what LLM as a judge means? It's okay if you don't. Cool, a few handfuls. LLM as a judge is a way of determining if your AI apps are doing what they are supposed to do by literally getting another LLM and saying, hey, LLM B, go tell me what LLM A is doing. Is it doing good or is it doing bad? And that's it in very plain language terms. Again, I'm sorry, machine learning engineers, you're probably gonna be like, it's a lot more complex than that. I'm like, yes, I know, but we're doing one-on-one level here. So I have built a silly little agent, and one of the things you can do is Galileo, one of our like cool differentiators is we have a small language model. So an SLM, it's called Luna. It can be used and fine-tuned, and it's designed to be fine-tuned off of data. So you guys are helping me to create some data today. I have a very, very serious app. It's my silly startup simulator, 3000. And I can run you through it. It's all open source. So again, if you want to fix my bugs, more than welcome to it. Open an issue, fix them myself. I do take PRs. This is a framework that we've kind of just been building ourselves. So what we see here is there is an agent, there's some tools. I've got a very fancy startup simulator tool. So it says, tools for generating a startup pitch using OpenAI. And it's literally just like some properties. It calls an OpenAI model, and it says, give me a silly startup pitch. Again, if you want to see how this breaks down, there's a couple more tools you can play in this repo. But I'm going to go ahead. We'll pop this here. Who's ready to start a startup today? All right. So I'm running it. We've got an industry. What industry should we go in our startup here for? Avocados. We're in the avocado industry. Great. Target audience. Someone give me a target audience for this startup. Huh?
Babies.
Babies. Enter a random word. Goo Goo Gaga. Let's see what it comes up with. And it's going to churn. I'm taking all of this data, and I'm taking this very, very silly responses. And it's going to be put into another demo that I will be giving next week at Databricks, and it'll also be online. But all of this data is going to help me fine tune and make a more ridiculous startup than ever before. And then we're going to evaluate it off of trending words on Hacker News. So I also scraped the top startups that have launched on Hacker News, and I've taken those keywords, and I'm going to kind of create a model to see if I can predict what is happening. So if you catch me at Databricks, you'll see this data used behind the screen. If not, stay tuned on YouTube. It'll be open source. But here's our startup ideas. We can determine if we want to go for funding or not. Introducing Goo Goo Guac, the world's first avocado subscription service just for babies. We deliver hand-picked organic avocados with our exclusive Goo Goo Gaga Squish technology for the smoothest baby bites. Each box is packed with nutritious green goodness to foster tiny foodies. Join the Guacvolution and let your baby babble their way to gourmet greatness.
Wow.
So we've taken this, we've vibe coded it. Now I'm going to take all this data, I'm going to fine tune the small language model, and we're going to have it report back, and we're going to have it make more ridiculous startups. So my metric is going to literally be, Can I make it more ridiculous than this? But put in short, this is the kind of tools that I'm going to be looking for kind of success. These are specifically agent-based tools, and I'm going to actually choose a few of these in the box to help me with my, or out of the box metrics to help me with my custom metric. This one's going to look for things like tool error, like did it call the right tool in the AI, tool selection quality, am I calling it? If you've ever built an agent from scratch, one of my favorite bugs to chase down, and by favorite, I mean not favorite at all, is that time when it's just going to the first tool and it gets stuck in a circle again and again and again. Never fun. And then action advancement, is it moving through those steps correctly? So I'll combine these very out-of-the-box traditional metrics, I say, with a custom metric developed. But that's what we got. If you want to play around with this example, it's going to be in the Galileo's SDK repo. Go have some fun. If you just want to hang out and dork around on the internet, that's cool too. I like weird apps. Yeah?
Which LLM you are using here?
This is, I'm using just OpenAI for this one, but we work with like any LLM. So if you have your own LLM, you can go, but have some fun. But I moved this one's just OpenAI just because I was lazy and I already had half an example coded.
Can you talk about more about the SLM you mentioned?
Yeah, so the SLM is called Luna, and that's like what Galileo was actually founded on. It's a proprietary like small language model, but it's specifically designed to be fine-tuned with context relevance so that we can catch things in like when they happen. So we work with a lot of actually finance sectors because you probably can't be like shipping vibes with your credit card apps. It's probably a bad, no-go, bad thing. And when you're doing like the vibes, and so they'll take it, and it can be completely ran on-prem. So they have it sandboxed in and they're fine-tuning it against their own personal things. And then it makes it so the small language model can detect when it's deviating from the norm. So all of it is available on, I think there is a really good one-pager on Galileo.ai on the small language model. Or come find me afterwards and I'll send it to you as well. Any other questions? Who else is going to build some weird AI apps and send them to me because I need more fun examples?
I will.
Perfect, thank you. All right.
Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.
Welcome.